Want to know what your dog is thinking?
Have a challenging dog behavior you need help with?
The Dish on Dogs is your source for all your canine questions.
Improve your relationship with your dog and deepen your understanding of your furry friend. Right here on the Dish on Dogs. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another exciting and informative episode of the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, sometimes affectionately known as the mayor of Hounds Town, USA, sometimes not so affectionately known as that, but I'm always the mayor of Hounds Town, USA. The Dish on Dogs is a show about generally dogs in all kinds of capacities. Sometimes we talk about dog behavior, sometimes we talk about dog nutrition, veterinary medicine, you name it, we talk about it. And then sometimes we talk about the pet care industry, which today is a very big industry, as you very well may know. And particularly now, we're exiting COVID, hopefully. And so the last few episodes, I've had the extreme pleasure to talk to some of our new franchisees that have gotten involved with us and have been working within our Hounds Town brand before, during, and now hopefully after COVID. So we're going to talk to them. I'm joined today by my friends Bill and Linda Dompert. They are franchisees from Central Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We're going to talk specifically for those of you who are like, what? Where the hell Central Bucks County? We're going to find out very soon. It's proximity to the rest of the universe. So joining me again, Bill and Linda, thank you for joining me today. It's nice to have you.
Mike, thanks. We're glad to be here.
All right, good.
Seems like it's been a little bit of a long time coming, but good things come to those who wait and persevere.
Exactly, and that is a good entrepreneurial statement. Good things happen. If this was easy, everyone would do it. So it is not by any means easy being an entrepreneur, and we're going to talk about that, running a small business, because basically Linda and Bill are opening a small business, a family business, with the help of a corporate support, so to speak, Hounds Town. So we have a business relationship, and it's somewhat of an odd, franchising is an odd business relationship. And we're gonna. So why did you even get involved in Hounds Town? Talk a little bit about your life prior and now.
Sure. So I've worked in healthcare and IT and consulting, and I'm a road warrior. I've been on the road for 35 years almost at this point, and actually was reading through one of those airport magazines, airplane magazines, and came across a competitor and talked about doggy daycare and just the potential in the pet care industry. And I think at the time they said it was $90 billion a year, rapidly approaching $100 million, and got curious and started doing a little homework and research. And, long term, I'm looking, for what's next for Linda and I think we found something that's going to work for both of us.
Right. So kind of typically it sounds like it's the next chapter or another part of your journey. Most of our franchisees are not the retiring type that are going to Florida and, getting into a 55-plus community drive around in a golf court. So I'm assuming you want something. What's your family like?
We're not ready to retire yet.
Right.
Mike.
Okay.
We've got 3 kids. We just had our first grandchild, just turned a year old. So we're also looking to build something that hopefully is sustainable and we can pass down to our kids and grandkids and, be generational.
Right, a legacy to go on.
Right.
No, that's something they can grow up in. Yeah, that's great. So COVID presented an unknown for everybody. Nobody has a clue about it. And, very frankly, some people capitalized on the fact that COVID, some of it helped them out, some of them didn't, meaning some of the stores that opened right before COVID, they put all their money and effort in construction. They went through the same thing you're doing. They had their grand opening. Our marketing team did this wonderful job, and our life is great. And then all of a sudden, the country turned down. The valve turned off. So when I say some people benefited, we don't know, right? Your story hasn't been told yet, but many times that might have been a blessing in a disguise. We will see.
You're exactly right. I mean, you kind of warned us that, this can be an up and down road, bumpy road.
Right.
We didn't know COVID wasn't an impact at that point when we had made a decision. We actually signed in the end of 2019, December of 2019, signed on as a new franchisee and thought we were going to hit the ground running pretty fast. We had identified a property and we were in final lease negotiations in March, and all of a sudden, our landlord got cold feet, and he pulled the property off the market, and we basically had to start from ground zero. But when I look back at it now, to your point, that's probably a blessing in disguise that we had a delay as part of that. We weren't going through build out and things like that during those tough times when there were so many unknowns with COVID.
Right. No, absolutely. So let's just talk. So that's what motivated you. The pet care. Why pet care as opposed to I don't know, a computer or a company? Or your background is kind of in in that technology field. Yeah, so why would you go from technology to the absolute opposite of technology, which is a dog?
Well, first of all, Linda and I we're both big. I'll call us dog people. So. She's had dogs since growing up as a young child. When we got married, I got my first dog, so she was kind of skeptical, how I was going to feel about that.
So that was a big test.
That was a big test.
Yeah, right. Depending on how you treated the dog was going to be how you were going to treat her and the kids and everything going forward. All right, so you passed that test, obviously.
But we've been dog people ever since, and we've had 3 or 4 dogs in our lifetime with our kids. And Linda's always been a dog person. She's that kooky neighbor in our neighborhood that if there's a stray dog running around, she jumps in the car and she's out looking for the dog, trying to get the dog, get it back in the car.
I'm a kooky person, and now you guys got kennel leads now in your car, so when you're traveling around, keep one in. It's going to assist you in those rescue efforts. So I think nobody's typical. Everybody's has their individual biography. We're all a sum total of our life's experience. Obviously, I have mine. Each one of you individually have yours. And it's interesting that you're here. And we're excited to have you because thus far, and today, you've checked off our check marks as what we want as business partners because you're our partners. We didn't sell you a franchise. We're working together to develop your business. We don't make money unless you're successful. Nobody's successful unless we're all successful. So we're excited about that. And
And Mike, to that point, I check out other competition and competitors. They're in the doggy daycare and boarding industry, and to be very frank, that partnership and the relationship that very early on we were able to develop with you and Jackie, so we kind of went through that process. That's the reason why we selected Hounds Town. That was the big differentiator for us and the difference.
And that's good. And we work hard, I think we try, you're here in training and I talk about authenticity, trying to communicate in all honesty. Nobody's perfect. I rest at night knowing that we're doing everything we possibly can. I can't cure COVID. I can't build a building for anybody. I can't go beat your landlord up and wring his neck and tell him to rent to us. And these are impossible things. So obviously, many things in life are out of our hands. As we get closer to where we are today, as you can see, you were basically on your own. I mean, we can support you in your site selection and we can support you in your construction, but at the end of the day, it's really mostly on you, and the pressure is on you. When you get here to our training, as we get closer to you opening, then we can control more things. As you know, we can control our training, we control our marketing, we can control all those things. So hopefully, as we get closer to opening, we're still not there yet, so we're not at the finish line, so we can still sprain our ankle. There's a lot, and I don't like to be the Debbie Downer, but I also don't like people to get so many optimistic false hopes only to get the rug pulled out on a minor technicality. But I feel good about everything that's going on. What would you say besides, so your experience, would you, and be honest about this, because people are listening, knowing what it takes to run a small business, and you fully don't even have that down yet because you haven't actually done it.
Right.
But you're here at training, you're going to be here for 7 days, marketing, all social media, behavior, dog management. There's a lot of components to it, and a lot of times that people come into the system, they like dogs. That's their, they like or love dogs on some level. If you don't like dogs, then something's wrong with you.
You're probably in the wrong business.
Right. So definitely in the wrong business, or there's something wrong. So, but they come here and you don't really realize, like, wow. I tell people, and I don't like to scare people, when we open that first day, you're going to turn the key to the lock, and that has to happen for the next 10 years. Every morning, whatever it is, 6 or 7 o'clock, and the reality steps in. Now, that shouldn't be imposing, because it's how you manage your life, right? So you guys come first. That's it. Your relationship with your loved ones come number one. Then obviously your children. Business is a priority, but it's not everything. So it's how you delegate and run the business. So how do you feel today? Here you are in training. What's it like?
You want to comment first? I'll comment first. I mean, Mike, we've been very anxious to get to this point. As I said, it's been, we thought we were going to open in early 2020, and due to other circumstances out of our control, it's been delayed. So we've been anxious to get to this point, and really excited about getting to training and understanding operations. And one of the things I've enjoyed the most so far this week is just the interactions and learning about dog behavior and how to manage dogs. And I mean, that's been the best part of the week so far for me.
Good. That's how good. That's my lane. So you go, sucker. That marketing stuff, snoozer. Okay, I got it. And I appreciate that. But yeah, so there is these different challenges, and I like to think of it. I try to make it a little bit of a relief valve, right? Because all you've been focusing on is a build out, and that's the focus of your attention. It's truthfully not the focus of the rest of the world's attention, right? Right. Whether it's whatever, they're like, all right, we'll get to you when we can. The building inspector is not up pacing back and forth about Hounds Town Central Bucks, right? They
exactly. We've had a lot of challenges with that. It took us almost 6 months to get a building permit.
Right.
We had to get zoning variances. Due to COVID, boards are only meeting first 3 months of the year. They didn't meet at all.
Right.
They canceled everything, and then we're having Zoom meetings, and inspectors are only available 2 days a week from 1 to 4 p.m. So there are all the things, again, unknowns that we've run into,
right.
But you've got to learn to roll with the punches and be persistent. And fortunately, so far we've worked through all of those.
Right. So at the end of this, and I'm just as you're talking, I'm thinking of Michelle in Stone Mountain, Georgia. We're opening her next week. So she's been doing this for 2 years before the COVID was even a COVID. So she's had unbelievable sidetrack challenges. And again, I mean, she just keeps on going. There's. And we're at the finish line, and I'm hoping for you and everyone else, in a year from now, we're not even going. We'll be. I don't even remember that happened. So
I think one of the things that it has afforded us to be able to do is really work with Corey and the team on the marketing plan and get ahead of things. So, we've been very active with Facebook. We've gotten a tremendous response from folks in the community. They can't wait for us to open. I think there's a real need. We've set up a private Facebook group, right. And we've got almost 1,200 members in marketing in 3.5 months. Right. So again, that's one of the advantages, and something that as we went through the evaluation process, that we really thought gave us a leg up as compared to looking
no pun intended. Yes. Oh, go ahead. Right.
Compared to some of the competitors that we were looking at.
So. Absolutely. So that's a good way, and I want to segue into that. So for people listening that don't understand that kind of the process, so once you're here now, you're at what we call corporate initial franchise training. So you're going to open within a month, 2 or 3, somewhere in that parameter. So you're here now to start to understand the working business, so we're going to spend 7 or 8 days bombarding you and compressing all of the knowledge. You mentioned Corey. He's our marketing director. We now have Rob Flanagan, who's our operating officer. We're going to, with my dog stuff, and we're going to take all this time and try to condense it into your body, your brain, in a relatively short period of time. So let's talk about that, because a lot of times franchisees, they're waiting to do stuff. They're like, I want to do something. Well, we got plenty for you to do, right?
There's plenty to do.
So explain that, though, because they think the work starts when you open. That's what people think. So You talked about the Facebook group, social media. What does that mean for people listening? You said 1,200. That sounds like a lot. What is that? 1,200 what?
1,200 members that are interested in Hounds Town Central Box. And I'll let Linda talk about this.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of the work around that.
So what does it mean? Talk to me, explain to me. Like I really truly don't know that much about it. I hear people say they got a large group. I don't know if it's what that means. So what is it?
So we have a private Facebook group for our Central Bucks people and even the surrounding communities. Just letting them know that, hey, this is out there. Dogs are important to people in their life. It's their family member. So we want to be able to give them a place that they feel comfortable, that they can bring their dogs while they're out at work or on vacation, that they know their dog's being taken care of. It's a big industry right now. We're getting calls like crazy asking when are we going to open, because every place else in the area is full. We do have a lot of competition in our
feel sorry
our
for them,
area, but I don't feel like we're going to have a problem.
No, you're not. That's something I know. So that's the good part. Those are things you may not know, but I know it from just historical data. But let me ask you this, just so we can clear this up. Where is Central Bucks for some people that don't really...
So Central Bucks is around 40 miles north of, or 40 minutes north of Philadelphia, where a lot of people are more familiar with the Doylestown area. So we're in very close proximity to that. Our location is actually in Chalfont Borough, which is a small...
So Doylestown,
Borough,
what about
Doylestown.
Wilkes-Barre? Is it near there? Not really.
No,
So, okay,
we're
give
not
me some.
near there.
I know I
So-
went to the casino there, so that's how I know geographic areas. There's Parks Casino. Are we near there? Or?
We're about 30 minutes north
In that
of
direction,
that.
right,
Yes,
right.
yes.
And I know there's a lot of traffic. So to us, traffic is good. So wherever you are in the United States, traffic means there's people coming and going. All right, so we know where you are. So then, when you say you got this Facebook group, how do you do it? How did you get it? How does that work? I mean this literally. I don't know. So I don't.
Well, your great marketing team helped us with that.
But what do they
as
do? They
well. And
jumpstart
then
it, or they direct people to you?
They jump-started it for us, and then I also reached out personally because I have a personal Facebook page. So with the groups within our community, like I would reach out to our Doylestown group and like Horsham group areas
that's
in
what I
there.
know.
And then I would just post in there saying, hey, just want to let you all know we're going to open up a doggy daycare boarding facility, and it just kind of grew.
So I guess your job now is to engage with them
Yes.
because they want to know what's happening, and you don't want to say get back to us in 3 months, check with
No.
you want to stay with them, engage with them,
Definitely.
and you're building. We call them townies, Hounds Town townies, and it's people that are going to really come to you. You're going to offer them a lot of free services when you start as a welcome to the community. Bring your dog and let them come and have fun.
Yes.
Let your dog decide if it's... You don't have to listen. I mean, I believe that you two are perfectly honest people, but we don't have to believe you. Let's look. The dog will tell us the tale, no pun intended. They're going to come in excited and go home tired. And that's what the experience is going to be like. It's going to be a genuine experience, a dog experience, not a human experience. And as you develop your Facebook, if everybody's curious what that means, you can explain that our customers are dog, the humans just pay for it. So... and that's what, competition to us is really not, to me personally, not that threatening, because I'm not sure that our competitors know how to address the dogs. They know how to address the human customers with all kinds of different incentives or products, but they don't know the dogs. So I'm super excited about that. I'm trying to think what else. So yeah, sometimes our franchisees, there's a friendly competition. So if they hear you got 1,200, they're going to be like, we're going to get 1,300, right? Right.
We'll take on all challenges.
And it's a good thing because it's fun for all of us. So you're buying into a brand. So here's a question that people could be listening to, and it's not uncommon actually. They see a dog. They have dogs of their own. They say, okay, we can put up fences, put dogs in there. Why do I need a franchise? Why am I giving them a portion of my hard work? Because you guys are going to work very hard. I like to think we work very hard too. But I mean, it's a question that requires an answer because so in retrospect, this part of your journey. how would you answer that? Would you say, I shouldn't have listened to these. I should have done it myself.
Oops.
Yeah, right. But I would like to think we have helped you somewhere along. And we're supposed to, running a business with training wheels. Sometimes that how it describes keeps you within certain parameters, whether it's money and signing a lease. So answer that question for me. Why Hounds Town? Why anybody? Why don't you just keep?
No, it's a great question, Mike, and I think one of the reasons why we partnered with a franchise and Hounds Town was because of the industry specific expertise you bring. You've helped us with real estate selection. What should we be looking for in a site, and helped us go through. And I think you personally came down and probably looked at 5 or 6 properties or buildings with us and said, "I like this one. Here's the benefits. Here's some drawbacks around it." That was a huge asset or learning curve that we just wouldn't have had that experience without your expertise. Build out and how should we configure the facility? We have 9,400 square feet facility that we signed a lease on. We're going to build out now. We're going to have 5 playrooms,
it's beautiful,
37 luxury suites and townhomes. You helped us with the layout and configuration of that, all to optimize it for the dogs, for the experience that the dogs are going to have.
Right.
Again, we could have guessed at some of that, but we certainly, probably would have got more wrong than we got right.
Right. And again, I feel I know the answer to it very strongly. I could say, yeah, you probably could have done it without us. But really, the truth of the matter is I don't think you could. And of course, all the challenges that we haven't even gotten to. You could have probably designed this in a way. It might not have been perfect, but I agree with that, and I appreciate the compliment. But the real struggle, not the real struggle, the real challenge. The real challenge comes with all the other components of running the business. Marketing. This is huge. So, you could try it. You could make your own. I know many people that make their own web pages. Everybody and their mother is a web designer. They're either, they do wallpaper or web design. So, they're multi. But my point is, they're not professional at it. They don't know what to do. Technology. You talk about technology. We have to be on the cutting edge of technology.
Exactly.
Our job don't end today. Corey and his team are what's the next thing, whatever it is. So that would cost you a lot of money just to be involved with that.
And truthfully, Mike, when I evaluated some of the other competitors out there, they didn't have that marketing plan or something that I felt confident in, or it was, I'll call it old school marketing. So we're going to send out flyers. We're going to go hand out pamphlets at dog parks. The world's changed.
Absolutely.
And you guys, I think, are and Corey's team are on the front end, bleeding edge of technology and using that to help market and drive customers.
Yeah.
to our
No, I
business.
believe that. Like I said, because I've made all the mistakes. We know we've experienced since we opened, we've taken care of over 2 million dogs. So we experienced everything, and now we can provide that support to you. And I think it would be super challenging for people entering into a business that your experience is you love dogs and you got a few of them, and
Right.
that's you're coming to the table with that.
That's not taking care of dogs, 80 dogs at a facility overnight.
Absolutely. And it's a very emotional business. Dogs, as we know, this is fully interactive. So it's no different than taking care of people's children in an interactive environment, a camp. And your kid gets a poison ivy, or they get allergies. There's a number of these things that are inevitable going to happen, and we know that. Our business model with the franchisees, we're the same with our customers, and that's just straightforward transparency. We don't lie to people, we don't exploit them, we don't try to sell them a dog biscuit at night or a belly rub at night. It's ludicrous. And to me, it's exploitative of somebody, because it's an emotional business. You love your dogs. If you come to your neighborhood doggy daycare and they're like, you don't want to buy an ice cream cone for your dog this Sunday? It's $3. You don't want to buy it?
Right.
And you're going to be like, no, I don't. I don't think he needs it. So anyway, my point is it's very easy for, in an emotional business, to exploit the customer. And when we don't do that, we're successful, because people aren't stupid, and they know when
They'll figure it out quickly.
They'll figure it out quickly. And many times I'll go, customers will come to a place and say, my last place, I need an accountant to figure out my bill, because it said $25 or $30 for daycare, but it ended up being $50. How did that happen? Okay. All right, I feel good about this. I sleep good at night knowing that we're going to be good partners. You guys, you understand the challenges. We've really had a good relationship thus far. We're team members. We're on a team, so there might be some, disagreements in how we play the game and what calls to make, and that's normal. So I'm excited. Central Bucks County, we know where it is. It's in Pennsylvania, near Philly, and Bill and Linda will be opening soon. If you go on there, what is the Facebook? How do they even go? How do you do this? Hounds Town. How do you find your thing?
You search for Hounds Town Central Bucks.
Hounds Town Central Bucks. If you can't find it there, probably houndstownusa.com. So there's many ways to do it. And by the way, folks listening, in my humble opinion, Hounds Town is going to be a nationally recognized, with our trajectory. I'm not just like pipe dream, just making this up, but our trajectory through COVID, we've been moving fast forward. And for the investors, for our partners, that's going to increase their value. So when you hear Hounds Town, in 3 years from now, you're going to hear Hounds Town. You're going to know that that's a doggy daycare, and that's where you should bring your dog. I believe that with all my heart. That's it. Listen to us, the Dish on Dogs.
Thanks for watching another exciting episode of the Dish on Dogs podcast. You can catch us every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook Live. You can also watch us on YouTube on the Dish on Dogs podcast. If you're a listener, you can catch us on iTunes, Spotify, and all your other podcast platforms. For more information, click the link in the description. We'll see everybody next time.